So I have here a very watered down white ink that I'm going to use with the dip pen, and I'm going to outline the entire drawing, and then I'm going to erase everything, and it's going to give me a very faint outline. And then we're going to go over it with a brush. Where's my brush? With this brush, some inkies from the inky bottle, and then water, and then we're gonna build the lighting on the piece. And then once it's all built up and it looks kind of hot, kind of sexy, boom, we'll call it a day. Let's hope that this is not too dark. I mean, not too opaque, because the point is that I do want it to be very watery. I don't want it to be opaque by any means. We're gonna let that dry, and then I can erase. And then if we erase and we see too much of it, then we know it's too opaque, and then we have to add more water. Yeah, kinda good enough. So it seems like it's not too opaque, and I'm gonna go with it for now. There you go, see? A good amount of ink, because it's still there for me to see, but it's not so visible. And that was the intention. Let's keep going, shall we? What's going to be cool about this is like the pose is very dramatic, in the sense that when I put the light from the top down, we're going to be able to keep a lot of the shadows in her body to make it more dramatic. That's the beauty of working on black paper, and you have to like utilize the black paper to its fullest. Whoa, that was a lot of ink that we didn't want to have there. Too much ink, if you ask me. Not that you were asking me, but just so you know, it was too much ink. This is trying to draw the skeleton of the piece, you know? So then from here is where we build up all the details, all the cool doohickeys that we can make, you know? I like the word doohickeys, that's why I wanted to use doohickeys. And sometimes a lot of these details are lost afterwards, but I like to be able to make the decision while I'm inking whether or not I want something to stay, rather than not do it, assuming that I wouldn't want it there beforehand. Because right now I'll be like, you know what, I don't need this part right here, I can just like skip it. But then if I get to it when I'm inking with a brush, and then I start drawing, I'm like, oh man, I need a little detail here, fuck, I should have drawn the other one. So I regret not having drawn the little piece if I skip it. So I don't make any edits to the character or whatever item I'm drawing until I'm actually working on the brushwork. Then we can make some edits and figure out what I do and don't need. I had a pear, man. It was so delicious. I love pears. All right, boom. Boomers, look at that. All right, guys, we're done. Woo, we did it. All right, hold on. I need to get water. Not to drink, but to paint. Okay, so now, well, first of all, primero que nada, let's put shit back, because we don't want to have a mess. You know? Let's move stuff around. Put back this back here. Let's take over here. Let's brush it away. Let's brush all these nastiness, not nasty, but you know, the eraser residues. Let's brush them out. Brush it out everywhere. Now we're good. Now we're set. Now we're ready. And move the mic over here. Look at it, look at it. Nice. All right. We're good. We're good. All right, now what we're gonna do, you ask, we're gonna wet the paper. Yeah, let's get it wet. Not like that, you pervs. Not like that. We're gonna need a paper towel so we can get rid of excess water. When it comes to doing ink wash, it's all about water management. Also, this paper is not necessarily made for water, but we're gonna do it anyway, because this is mixed media, but you know, not necessarily made for water. I use it anyway. Why not? I'm a rebel without a cost, and I'll do what I want. So we have those inkies. White ink usually comes in a very pasty form. We're gonna put some water on it though, so we can make sure that the surface is moist, and then we'll slowly kind of dip the tip of the brush into it, because ink goes a long way, whether it be white ink or black ink. Very little goes a long way with water, so you don't need to use that much to get good stuff from it. Now that we have that, I try to make sure that my brush has like the finest tip I can get from it. So I'm going for a directly top-down lighting setup, so the light is gonna kind of fall on a cone, so we're gonna use a spotlight sort of thing. So that means that the background is not gonna be that prominent at all. You should always be aware of what kind of light you're gonna be using, because different types of lights behave differently. Spotlight, a fill light, ambient light, a bounce light. There's a difference in all of those. Very subtle sometimes between one another, but they do behave differently. A spotlight is gonna give me a very defined terminator. So terminator is the part of the shape where the light turns to dark. This is what we're doing right now. We're just kind of going over the piece with some very little ink and water, just so we can establish the lighting. And this just helps me guide myself around. So the trick for using this kind of paper that is not made for water, but it's mixed media, paper in general is gonna buckle, right? But if you let it dry and you don't use too much water on it, it'll kind of stay in the same shape. And it'll be like kind of like no shit Sherlock kind of thing. But sometimes the most obvious things sometimes escape me. Now here's where we're gonna run into a lot of water. You're gonna have to do the back. Because when it comes to like these kind of like drawings with like white ink on black paper, it's all about building on top of layers rather than going straight up for the max white that you have to have. Because then you're gonna miss out on all the like little like nuance and like little like shifts in value along the way, you know? That's why I can't. I've tried it. I've tried going faster in the build up of the values and it doesn't work. It's like kind of like we're getting it there somewhat. Let's get it presentable for the masters, shall we? And then we can play. What I'm doing right now is just kind of like adding the hard edges of these shapes to make them a bit more solid. And again, it's just so I can have something to post today and it looks relatively complete, you know? So it doesn't mean that I'm done with it, but I just want to make sure that I have something to post today. So we're gonna do just enough to make it look good for the grand, you know? Because I can't rush them, you know? I can't rush them. I can't in good conscience rush a piece just for the sake of posting it. But I can get it to look good enough, you know? And so it kind of looks nice now in the bottom. We have like the whole thing going on. And then with her, we're gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna use the line to go all around her body, you know, because I have to follow the way that I'm lighting the whole thing. So it's not about outlining. The point is not to go all around it. It's just to play to the strength or the whole like lighting setup that we have going on. You have to kind of strategically play some lines here and there to make it look like it's part of the light setup. Because I honestly think that if you treat black paper as you would white paper, as far as like how you go about outlining your drawing, you're missing the point of black paper. Black paper gives you the ability to be so much more dramatic with your lighting that you owe it to yourself and to your work to kind of like take advantage of it. When you outline, you have to outline following the rules of your lighting setup that you have already set up prior to. We would have gotten to like this much separation from the background and from the form with more ink, but I needed more layers to get here. So it still works. It works for what we want. Like it still looks presentable. Like I can show this to people and then they'll know what's going on, you know? So it works in that regard. And that's what the point was. Let's scan it real quick so we can prepare it.